You just want to like get up and like jump up and down on your bed. I don't know if there's anyone who does a revenge song like I-DLE does. Hello, Claire Bears. It's Elsie. Welcome to my channel. If you are new and if you are returning, welcome back. We are making our way through I-DLE's discography and we have now gotten to I Never Die, which I've been dying to get to. And this is a big album with lots of content to cover, so I'm actually going to be splitting up this reaction into two parts. So this first part will cover the first 4 songs, so all the way up to Already. And then the second part will cover Polaroid to My Bag. And we have a lot to get to, so I'm going to dive right in. But before we do, please don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel. So for today's beverage of the day, we have a sparkling ice in a cherry limeade flavor. I saw this at the store and it just looked like blood. And I don't know, I thought I would get something like tough looking for this reaction as my beverage of the day. Oh, this almost tastes like a red freezy. Hold on, wait. You don't use the word freezy in the US, do you?
A few moments later.
Wow, this is fascinating. So you might call it a freeze pop, a freezer pop, or an icy in the US, or just an otter pop. An icy pole? If you're Australian, please tell me if you actually call these icy poles. I just feel like we have very different terminology for words in Canada than other places. Like my uncle is American and we call these in Canada pencil crayons. And when I call them pencil crayons instead of colored pencils, my uncle looked at me like I had 5 heads. But yes, all this to say, this tastes like a red freezy. But okay, we're gonna get started here with our first song of the album, which is Tomboy. Now, of course, I reacted to Tomboy in my very first reaction to I-DLE. So if you haven't seen that at this point, then you're more than welcome to check that reaction out right here. But I still wanted to do a reaction to Tomboy in some way, and I realized that I hadn't watched their Studio Choom performance of Tomboy yet. So we're gonna react to that performance today. And I will do my darndest not to sing along because this is one of my favorite title tracks from I-DLE. So let's watch. Ugh, I love that two-tone hair on Minnie. And those like corseted leather jackets. Oh, the like such sass. They just look so unbothered. It's amazing. They never fail to have iconic choreography, do they?
That's why I don't wanna play this ping pong. I would rather film a TikTok. You're my wish as a prince, but this is queendom, right? I like to dance, I love my friends. Sometimes it's where we don't stick around. I like to act, I'm drinking whiskey, I won't change it, what the hell? 미친 척이란 말에 what's the lose to me? 사정없이 씹으라고 you lose to me. 사랑가 그따위 내 눈에 눈물 한 방울 어림없지. 너의 차는 말에 미소 나 제발. Yeah, I'm tomboy.
They have just like the perfect attitude. This is my attitude.
You get the song right. You get what I mean, tomboy.
It's just like so hypnotizing too. They just pull you in.
Just me, loving Tomboy.
Oh my gosh, I just noticed the giant boots they're wearing. Oh my goodness, that must have been extremely hard to dance in those. I love the color of her contacts there. And even though on the surface, the choreography for Tomboy is fairly simple, it's just like I said, it's all in the attitude, and it could just like look really boring if they didn't serve it the way that they served it. All right, so we've gotten it started with Tomboy, but now we're going to move on to our first B-side of the album, which is Never Stop Me. And I know that there is a live clip of this song, so I thought I would react to that. But first, start with a lyric video so that I could get a sense of the words, and then that would help contextualize the performance. And this is a Soyeon special, so let's listen.
약에 취해버린 feel 널 부러질 luxury bar 크게 찢어지는 lip 천원은 번져 like smoky yeah
Oh baby, I know it. 난 이제 가라진 not crazy. 앞건이 벌써 이런 여기 뭐 I'm always nasty. 바람 네 끝까지 내가 멍청한
I'm always nasty. I'm an idiotic angel. We went from one sassy song to another sassy song, but it really does feel like continuing the vibe from Tomboy a bit
Oh baby, I know it. 난 이제 가라진 not crazy.
with those guitars.
벌써 이런 여기 뭐 I'm always nasty. 바람 네 끝까지 내가 멍청한 천사였게. Never be danger gay. You broke my heart. You
Ooh.
broke my love. 어이없어 내 머리 다 나네. 아니 전혀 나는 괜찮아. Let me put on my jacket. 너마저 never ever stop me. 내가 그
Yeah, this feels like Tomboy's sister.
Surprise. Your pants I bought it. 검은 양말 벗어주길. Hard give mini pill. 원하고 조절 못하니. Does he know the honey bear? Red car, girl by daddy. Out company. Looking forward to your wedding.
What is going on here? Like, scolded by daddy, out of company, looking forward to your wedding. Like, whose wedding? This person who has broken their heart? Because, you know, earlier Yuki was saying it's absurd that tears are coming out, so they're almost like upset by the fact that they're upset. And let me put on my leather jacket. It's almost like, you know, wanting to put it up as a shield and enter your like rebellious phase, because they're saying, don't ever stop me. Whatever you've schemed, don't ever try to box me in. Don't stop me, because it feels like you're gonna pay. So yeah, it feels very like rebellious, especially with this genre being more popular like when I was a teenager. It almost feels like if I'm going down, you're going down with me. Screw you, dummy.
Ooh,
that was cool. There's something kind of like mysterious to this song, despite Soyeon saying, I know I'm too emotional, like I know I wear my heart on my sleeve. It still feels like there's something else lying underneath the surface, which I can't quite pinpoint. I don't know if anyone else gets that like vibe to this song, but it really does feel like they're talking about, you know, if you don't like me the way that I am, then screw you, dummy. I'm going to continue being me, even if I'm too emotional or I'm too this or too that. You gotta love a self-aware queen. But all right, let's watch the live clip of this song now. I'm curious to see like the sass and that sort of thing that they bring to the live performance. Pigtails. Oh my gosh, and like the crimped hair. This was so cool in like 2001, and you know, this type of thing of just like one section of hair would take 4 hours and you just like singe off part of your hair in the process. That definitely brings me back. Oh my gosh, those cuffs. I love that shade of pink on her. I just love how they're all giving like intensity, and then Chuhwa is just like, ding. She's so cute. I love her. I need to watch that again. You just want to like get up and like jump up and down on your bed listening to this. And then Mia's just looking perfect as usual. You just want to jump up and down around with them. I love her nails. That was fun. There's something just so nostalgic about this. I think it's the mixture of this genre being popular when I was like a teenager, and then also just the feel of the song being kind of like rebellious in almost a teenage way of, you know, when you're 15 and your hormones are raging. So it was fun to see their personalities come out by doing this live clip. But all right, now we have a song called Villain Dies, another Soyeon song. And this is always like a very dramatic moment in a movie when the villain dies. So I wonder if this is going to have like a cinematic feeling to it, or, you know, based on the themes of this album so far, and being more on the rebellious side, if they are actually on the side of the villains. So let's listen.
Once upon a time, there was a villain. Who was villain? Yeah.
Ooh. Stupid and dirty. Yeah, tell me how you really feel, ladies. They are just like shooting it straight this whole album. Oh. Speaking of shooting it straight, with, you know, how many shots I shoot, my bullets don't hit, it's okay. They've shot a lot. interesting melody. Also, Yuki is just like serving in that photo.
If the villain dies.
Yeah, that like, I don't even know what instrument that was. Whatever it was, it just like sounded very sinister. Ooh.
I never cry, but I was a past the day as a work cause of her. Who is the villain? 악당이 나요 내 모든 걸 망치는 그녀를 미워했는데 이 소설 속 악당은 나였네. Or author 거기다 help은 나 얼른 빼는 게 없어진 나의 play는 바꿔버릴 거야 이거.
Oh, that rap was amazing. Yeah, this is like this part of the song almost feels like their moment of vulnerability in the song with why do you love her? Look at this, always hurting me. Because they almost like immediately bring up that front. But this part is almost like that one moment where they just like show that pain.
Dies.
And just the way that switch like flips. But this does feel very cinematic.
Never die.
I don't know if there's anyone who does a revenge song like I-DLE does. And it almost feels like that line from The Dark Knight of you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And they've like become the villain here. But I want to revisit that Soyeon rap because she says, you put me down and want me dead. In fact, you don't even know me that well. I never cry, but I was in pain yesterday as well because of her. And then later, I hated her who ruined everything, but this story's villain was me. And it's interesting how she says, hey yo, God or author, I'm going to hell, but not alone. And it's kind of meta in that sense, as if she might not be entirely in control of her own fate. And I want to know what went down with her. Like, who is her? Or is she talking about herself, of like some kind of self-sabotage that took place? I don't know. I feel like there's just like, there's so many ways this could be interpreted unless Soyeon just came out and said it somewhere. I feel like the most surface level interpretation is that this other girl that she's talking about like stole her lover. If we're like building off the last song, I would just love one day to be able to sit down with Soyeon and just like pick her brain of how she comes up with the lyrics for all of these different songs. And if there's anything that she's written about that she like can't tell anybody what it's actually about. I'm so nosy. I would love to know that. But okay, we're going to get to the final song of this part here, which is Already. And here we have a Minnie and Soyeon song, but composed by Minnie. And with Minnie songs always tending to be like lighter and softer, I'm curious if this is going to take things in a different direction now compared to our first three songs. Although, if these photos give any indication, probably not. But let's listen and find out.
I'm alone in this room for so long. 너에 대한 생각들로 난 이런 노래만 들고 있어. 이 늦은 시간 날 뻔히 울리네. 미안하단 말을 왜 이제 와서 해. Even the second is too late. 그 거짓말을 내게 하지 않았고 마지막 그 한마디 참았던 않으면 우린 함께였을까.
This is so beautiful.
외로운 오늘 밤도 사랑은 졌고 그날로 우린 없어 늘 내게 달렸던 연애의 시작과 끝 변함없이 같지 않은 착한 척하는 그 말투 나 지긋지긋해 너의 실체를 알았게 옆자리에 만족했던 멍청이는 없어 이제도 No my yesterday 눈물로 뱉었네 됐어 너가 진짜 변했더라도 난 already.
Yeah, there's just like a much sadder undertone to this. Well, I don't even think it's an undertone, especially with talking about tears, and it almost feels like when you're in the like initial stages of grief, in this case like from a relationship. And it's I'm wondering if this is almost like the origin story for Villain Dies, because it really does give like villain origin story, but at the same time like still almost feeling like they have moved on already, especially with Soyeon's rap when she's saying like I never missed you even tonight, which feels lonely, and then the way you talk, acting nicely, I'm done with this as I got to know the true you. It's like they don't want to get back together, but they're still sad about it. Like they're sad about the way that things kind of went down.
In the end, it won't be us. 절대 예전 같을 수 없잖아.
You could just like hear the emotion in her voice. She sounds like angelic in that part. It almost feels like this is the start of the villain, the villain era now. Interesting. I can almost picture like a dance break there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this was so cinematic. And just the way it even felt like they were acting, delivering their lines, of delivering that emotion through the words. And in this case, we're literally closing the curtain on this chapter. And I'm really curious to see if we get something else in part 2. And when you think about the grief cycle in those stages, if it goes more into that kind of like acceptance side of things. But friends, that is it for part 1 of my reaction to Never Die. If you would like to check out part 2, then you can do so right here. So if you'll be joining me for part 2, I will see you very shortly. But if not, I hope you enjoyed this video and hope to see you soon.